Well, 200 was kind of a blockbuster for us. I mean, that one, we swung for the fences on that one. And I think that this one it's going to have some elements of that.
Okay.
It'll have some elements of holy shit, but it's also going to be it'll be a lot more rooted, I think, in the supernatural mythology.
Okay.
So less of a it's going to be a bit of, I don't know, it's hard to say.
Okay.
There is a one-off aspect of it, but there's also a lot of throwback Easter eggs.
Okay. And did you and Jared have any input in it, or?
I mean, this is such an important milestone.
Yeah.
I was made aware of today that we are of 25 shows in television history that have made this many episodes.
Wow.
Out of thousands.
Yeah.
So he and I got on the horn with the guys down south and pitched a few ideas.
Okay.
I think that kind of collaboration of because we're still fans of this show, we're still fans of this story and these characters, but we're also fans of the history of where this show has come from. And I think those are certainly elements that I wanted to have come into play. And, so hopefully they got inspired by a few things that we said, and we'll see some of that in the script. I know that there's a new edition out as of yesterday. I have not read it, but we don't start filming it for another few weeks. So.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about the townspeople maybe that will meet in the 300th and how they'll sort of react to these strange men in town.
Well, the teenagers that we meet all have notions. You know, they're serial killers.
Okay.
They're FBI agents. They're crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Some of the older people in town, when the show starts, the guy at the liquor store knows what the usual order is. The lady in the post office where they might pick up their mail knows, they're just these guys. And then as the episode goes on and it gets turned on its head a little bit, the town reacts in a different way, and there's a guest star that comes in that's going to really turn the episode on its head.
Okay. So 300 episodes, of course, is a huge milestone. What can you sort of tell us about it and how it's going to differ from 100 and 200?
I think that the 300th episode. So what happened in the 100th episode?
That was the one I think where they defeated Zachariah.
Okay. Yes. So the 200th episode was a little bit of a meta romp.
Yeah.
The 300th episode is going to be a little bit more reflective and a little bit more poignant and a little bit more emotional than previous centennial episodes.
So what kind of legacy would you like sort of the Winchester brothers and Supernatural to leave behind?
Well, the way the show works, it's about the family, about the brothers and the connection that they have, both in real life and in the show.
Yeah.
And it's about how, through thick and thin, you'll have your back. Somebody will have your back and help you in times of trouble. So I just hope that people take that as part of the fun that we're trying to have with it, but also just that, when you're down and you need a hand, maybe somebody's there to help you. Just to lean on.
Yeah.
So.
When you were first on the show, you had a very definite sort of horrible end to Mary.
Oh, yes.
But you've come back, and so if you had to choose a better ending for her this time, what would something like that look like?
I can't imagine Mary retiring. Like, how does that look? That's just weird.
Yeah.
Even when she had Dean, she was still hunting on the slide, right? But at a certain point, maybe she'll be able to get to the point where she can actually spend most of her time just away. I don't think a hunter wants to retire to, New York City,
Sure.
Just in somewhere quiet where... I don't know, there's monsters everywhere. I think about it and I just can't imagine her ever just quitting.
Yeah.
So hopefully not a bad end.
And sort of as a final question, if Jeffrey Dean Morgan were to come back, how do you think that reunion would go with Mary and John? And now there's Bonnie.
Exactly as you would, I know. But I mean, getting to see the love of your life again that would be a dream come true for anyone.
And you think he still is, no matter what.
I think so.
Okay, sure. So what do you think about reaching a
That's
milestone?
friendship right there.
I know, he's great, isn't he?
Grow up your friends, that's what they say.
What do you think about reaching a milestone like this after now 12 years for you?
I think, well, look, I'm a tiny dot on the beach that is the people who make Supernatural. So, I think a lot of the success goes directly, should be laid at the feet of Kripke for having the great idea and for executing a great idea, for Bob Singer for teaming up with him back then, for Bob Singer for being the sort of tentpole director and producer for all those years with different showrunners coming and going, including Sarah Gamble, Jeremy Carver, Andrew Dabb. Bob's been the consistent tone setter.
Yeah.
Phil Segrisha for covering the post, which is an undersung, underappreciated piece of the art because the assembling of it, and the editing of it, and the sound and all that is crucial. And Phil, as a director and as a EP overseeing that, is phenomenal. And then you obviously have Jared and Jensen, who have been two guys who have been telling great stories as performers and caring as people about those stories and about those characters for all 300 episodes, from the pilot till the next time they go to shoot this on Monday. They care, they put in the effort, they put in the time and the talent to making sure that the show stays as fresh and as new and as good as it was day one. And there's not a lot of performers out there who would do that, who would still care that much, who would try that hard, who would be that kind to each other and to their coworkers and fellow crew members. So I think they get a lot of the credit for making this thing happen and for us to be here celebrating it tonight.
Did he have, if that was it, do you think that he had the ending that you had hoped he would have?
I think that season 13 offered up a lot of great story and backstory for Gabriel that otherwise wouldn't have been told had the writers not decided to tell that arc. So I feel very lucky to have been able to go back and tell the story, especially the Gabriel Loki backstory.
Right.
I thought that was really valuable in terms of the mythology of the show and the history of Gabriel as a character and why he was pretending to be Loki and all those nuanced details that were established back in season 5. I thought it was worth it just to get to that story and tell that story, and I think they found a really creative, honest way to get Gabriel back and tell that story. So I feel like they've served him well.
What kind of ending would you like for Rowena?
I would like an ending where she does take over the world and ascends on a pink cloud, drinking champagne with various masseuses around her, with magic at her fingertips, and everyone just wearing sparkly eyeshadow and ball gowns below her. I think that's
Very specific.
That's everything.